This is it.
So we got everybody up. Oh, let's see how we doing on the camera. We gonna push this back a little bit.
So.
Can it go back some? I don't think it's usually this close up. There you go, the screen went out. Screen went out. Is the screen back on, y'all?
No. Wondering if should have, it's not power, it's still on.
I see power coming this way. Do we have a computer guide in this still, a laptop?
Yeah.
We do. It's the screen came on, the power came back on. Oh my God, I'm about to die slowly to death. Miss All right, so we just are timing this. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, and we are live on YouTube. So everybody be mindful. You don't have to keep your microphones muted. You can cheer. Our backs are gonna be a little bit towards you because we have a courtroom full of people. So what we usually do is I'll call everybody up here. This will make motion, this will make movement. Thank you.
Yep.
And it tries to span over. So the first person I'm gonna call up is Samantha. Does everybody have a Bible or whatever thing you want to use to swear in on? Who's gonna be the person that's hold your Bible? Dwayne. Come on up. Is your family member on?
Child, all my family. There's my brother,
Hey, brother.
my sister-in-law. My children are here. My besties, Iris, Stephanie, and Trinadia. Yes, it's on there.
We talk so much about it.
Lauren probably won't show her face, but that's Loso. Logan
Okay.
is probably working and cannot.
Show her face. Okay.
Oh,
Hey,
there's
Logan.
Logan. There's Logan.
Hey, Logan. Oh my gosh, you look just like you.
Hi, beautiful.
All right, thank you, everybody, for joining. So how do we usually position? So we're gonna try to come on camera. I'm gonna step back just a little bit. Let me step right here. And so we have Chris taking pictures. So right here, because I'm trying to position, and then you can step right here. So before we do, I usually tell a little story about how we came to have, what is this? Hold on, y'all. We got this whole thing set up for hearings, we multitasking, I think we're gonna get a hearing today. Thank you. I try to tell everybody, this is gonna move. So, what happened? It's picking up noise while Crespo moves that. This camera will move all around, so here we go. What happened was, we were looking for a court administrator when our court administrator was down. And I'm looking for somebody to, some of my chiefs know, we were trying to do massive changes with the court in 2022. Because I want the court to move in a new direction starting 2023. What I needed was, you know, tradition is we have an attorney as a court administrator, but what I needed was management. And everybody put resumes of operation managers. I'm like, I need an attorney. And so I had a couple of people that were operation managers, bank managers, CEOs from some of CMSD. I'm looking at these resumes and I'm like, I'm just not interested. They don't know about court. I have to bring them up to speed. And so I interviewed a couple of people, and then the last one, some people were heavily pushing Samantha's resume and application. So finally, I said, fine, I'll interview her. I don't think it's gonna work, but whatever. I interviewed her. I think we interviewed for maybe an hour and a half. Very, very impressive. She's coming from Metro Health. How many centers? 3 clinics. 3 clinics. She impressed me. First of all, she impressed me just when one of the questions, anybody who interviewed, tell me what you know about housing court and the judicial system. Some people pass barely. She passed with flying colors. Whether she researched it or not, I was just impressed she researched it. She told me a lot. She wanted to be an attorney. I'm gonna push that. Eventually, but you know, she was like, she's a young mother, got pregnant young, went into nursing, yada, yada, yada. Needless to say, she interviewed, she impressed me with that. Then the next question, important question was, tell me how your skill set would transfer into being a court administrator. That was so impressive. She went down everything. This is how, you know, I dealt with the multi-million-dollar grant. She did a case management system rollout. And I said, you know, I gotta have her. You know, just like instantly, I was just like, you're impressive. Let me just roll this back to some of the people that was on my transition team when I took the bench and said, hey, this is what she explained to me. What do you guys think? They were like, yeah, I really liked her, so you should bring her on. So needless to say, she's here. You gotta place your left hand on the Bible, your right hand up, and you're gonna repeat after me. I, Samantha T. Coleman,
I, Samantha T. Coleman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of court administrator
and will faithfully discharge the duties of court administrator
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
learning and experience.
learning and experience.
And this I say,
And this I say,
as I shall answer unto God.
and I shall answer unto God.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yay, yes, 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 yes.
Yay, Sam!
Hey, y'all.
Congrats, Sam. Yay.
Congratulations,
Sam.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Get out of practice. Gonna sign up here and then up here. All right. You got files with it. Okay, thank you, thank you. All right, Anthony Crespo. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Larry. Could you do this? Hold on. Wait.
Thank you.
Can you, use your Bible?
Sure.
Yeah. You have any?
Um,
They're online.
yeah, my parents are on it.
Samantha? Samantha, we're gonna use you as court administrator.
Okay.
That's part of the duties. Y'all like it. Just gonna stay in kind of right here. And you say you buy Chris, so. His last name. So. It was my former administrator, we were determined to have an IT person that was the voice of housing court. You know, another entity kept poaching our people, I ain't gonna say nothing, ain't gonna say who it is. But, we know the evil entity of Odyssey. We've been battling that case management rollout, and we're still battling it. But it's always people's gift, and we always want to find out what is people's passion, what is people love. And if you have something in housing court that you start off one thing, it may not be a fit for you. You may be in law school. Some people are secretly in law school. Some people are secretly doing fun. I don't know. But you know, I always want to tap people. I encourage people to kind of spread their wings and fly. You know, and I try to find out what works for people. If you desire to do something else, run for office, I'm an encourager because that's what I am, you know, I never stay long. So I'm gonna always encourage people to find out what's your passion. So here comes Cresswell. He's a person that smiles, you know, our bailiff's department will tell you that he never complains, he's always there. My son is calling me and I don't know why, which is weird. He is the first one there, will stay late, will show up, is very supportive of his team. So we have a computer rollout. We had, what is it, SMEs, subject matter experts? Guess what? Somebody has a passion in computers, and to tell you how this room is 6 degrees of separation, as I always say, I believe Samantha in Metro have worked with his mom, who is also a computer.
They work for the hospital, yeah, both of them worked in a hospital, some both.
Whatever. Come to find out, he was ideal for it, and we just was developing certain key new positions. And we just found out, first we were looking for, I hate to use the word loyalty, but somebody that we can trust in a position that we knew wasn't gonna go anywhere. Because we're expecting to pour into that person. You know, get some certification, expend money, licenses and everything else. Crespo just stepped up, it comes natural for him. He's also a kid, a young adult, that's kind of trying to find his way. And he's willing, he has some AA degrees, but he's also willing to learn. So he was ideal when we were, do we roll out this position and post it on NeoGov? Or do we hire from within? The IT department, I think Odyssey team or Tyler team enjoy working with him. So we offered him the position. So he is now our new chief of information technology. And boy, do we have some exciting things that's rolling out in the community with our kiosks at the public libraries. And then also he is on a mission to help all the chiefs within departments kind of navigate Odyssey and make it work for housing court. But here's some things that we're talking about. Do we necessarily have to stay with the IT department here? Can we just go out and branch out on our own? We don't know, but we're seriously looking at those options because we got to figure out what works for housing court and what meets housing court's needs. Those are some things we're having hard discussions about. So that being said, Crespo was our guy. We welcomed him aboard, and so we are going to do the oath of office. And who do you have on camera?
My parents, Michelle, there they are right there on the left, Michelle.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, bud.
And we're
Hey.
out and about.
We're gonna step back just a little
The
bit.
crowd.
Okay, here. Left hand, right hand up. All right, there we go. I, Anthony Crespo,
I, Anthony Crespo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Chief of Information Technology
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Chief of Information Technology
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and learning experience.
and experience.
I'm sorry. And learning and experience.
Learning and experience,
And this I shall say,
and this I shall say,
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer unto God.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Woo, congratulations, Anthony.
Take your pictures, you gotta sign. I'll leave it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nobody else wants? Oh, that's all right. Shannon, Deputy Chief Devine. So we kind of switched this, who do you have on?
I have Jay and Lisa.
All right. Hi, Jay, and hi, Lisa. Good morning. Deputy Chief Devine. So we did a little bit something different with this whole department. We had 2 supervisors and 1 chief. And when I came on, I wanted to switch up the roles. I felt like we didn't need 2 supervisors. We really just needed that 1 field supervisor. And I felt like the chief always needed that deputy chief role because we had it for all of our other departments. And our chief and deputy chief have both been here. I think you guys started like right at the same time, right?
I've been here 23 years roughly.
23 years. And so they were just supervisors. I don't even think they had their roles kind of clearly inked out. And if anybody know me by now, I'm just a real process and procedure title person. So it was like one of the supervisors were always in the field and one was in-house. So it was like, so it'll be an in-house supervisor and a field supervisor and just kind of flush out their roles. Now it is a chief and a deputy chief that kind of counter support each other. They're both very knowledgeable, very experienced officers, and the entire bailiff staff loves them, right? And they give each other support. I think that it is well deserved that they're in the roles that they are. They've been doing this for years. And I think it was kind of like they wanted to be assured that they can do this position. Listen, I don't micromanage. I just say, do the best you can do, bring some ideas forth. I'm gonna support you always. And that's what they've done. And they've been voice pieces for their staff. And they've been support for their staff. So, you know, she is support to Chief Russell, and I believe Chief Russell has been support for her, yin and yang. That's what they are. So that being said, I think I could not have found a better deputy chief in-house. Never had to feel like I had to roll it out and ask people, you know, who could be this person, who could fill this role. So with that being said, I welcome her as being my deputy chief bailiff. Great person to fill this position. I tell everybody who gets hired, you know, I don't think my chief and deputy chief will ever go anywhere. So until they probably get 75 or 80 when they get sick of it. But we got them for a while. So you ready? Okay. So let me have you stand over here. We're gonna ask that are you okay with,
Yeah.
so left hand, and then raise right hand?
You're kind of bad.
That's okay. And so pivot a little bit this way.
This way?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So that we're gonna step up. This is come, so we can come on camera a little bit. I, Shannon Devine,
I, Shannon Devine,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of Deputy Chief Bailiff
of Deputy Chief Bailiff
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
learning and experience.
learning and experience.
And this I say,
And this I say,
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer under God.
There you go. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so we're gonna ask family members to stay afterwards so that your family members can get pictures with you by themselves and with me. However you guys want to take pictures. Sure. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do this real fast with the official. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see what we have next. Jermaine Justice.
Woo, woo, woo.
I'm gonna ask you to step on this side. And then Justice, who do you have with you? Hi, how are you? Good morning. Who do you have on screen?
My mother-in-law and my father end up being there somewhere.
All right, mother-in-law and father. Welcome, good morning.
Woo woo, good morning.
Deputy Bailiff Justice have not been with us long, past probation, so what is it, 7 months, 8 months?
Pushing a little bit past 4.
Is it 4 months?
Yes.
Longer. I don't know if they get out of the white shirts and I just think it's almost been a year. So I don't have much to say because he hasn't been with us long, but I can tell you, not many survive probation, but he has been awesome. Glowing reports from the chief and the deputy chief that he has been doing an awesome job. And I could tell because some people came on with him and I could just say that he's the lone survivor.
That's what's up.
I don't think, did you come on with Eve?
No,
He came on a little bit after him, right? Yes, he's the lone survivor, very professional. We hope that he stays with us a lot longer and that we can welcome him aboard with the family long term.
Sure.
So welcome aboard. Nice to meet your wife. So we're gonna take the pledge. All right, do you want to use the Bible?
Yes.
Okay. Hold this. And let's see, make sure we're in the camera. Step up this way a little bit. Left hand and raise your right hand. I, Jermaine Justice,
I, Jermaine Justice,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of Deputy Bailiff
of Deputy Bailiff
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
learning and experience.
learning and experience.
And this I say,
And this I say,
as I shall answer unto God.
and I shall answer unto.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you.
We love it. Woo woo woo.
So we got to take a picture, and you're right, so they have to picture. Pivot. What's this thing?
Thank you.
Everything with you. So be better, easy, who do you have?
This is my wife, Anne.
Hi. How are you? We gotta stand right there for 1 second. Who do you have? Do you have anybody on camera?
No, just my sister, my mother.
Rebecca. Good morning. How are you? So quickly, about, and you will hear me say detective. Because Deputy, Deputy Ely, and I was about to say Deputy Bailey, Detective, I'll say Detective Ely. So many times, we go way back. From me being a chief prosecutor, not chief, or Jesus, a prosecutor with the city of Cleveland, to me being a Cuyahoga County prosecutor with the prosecutor's office general felony unit, him sitting at the table with me doing trials. When he interviewed for the position or applied for the position here, I think he had retired because I knew he retired, and I think he was at Cleveland Clinic. When I saw his name, I was like, Detective Ely? You know, and at that time, you know, we had Chief Jess, and we both were like, our Detective Ely, because he was always a joy to work with. But he always looked like, I don't want to be here. But he always came, and he always had our evidence, the chain of command, everything set there. We didn't have that many trials together because we always, you know, worked out a plea or whatever. But when we saw him, we knew that he would be awesome to have on board. Our then chief bailiff also welcomed him on board because she worked with him with the Cleveland Police Department, who she also was a county prosecutor, and then she came and worked for Housing Court. So we welcomed him with open arms. He too survived our rigorous probationary period, and then I jokingly always look at him like, where are you on those files? Place in my window. So he's a joy. No complaints from him. I think our chief and our deputy chief bailiff enjoyed working with him also. So we welcome him on board with our housing court staff. That being said, ready to take the oath?
Yes.
Left hand on the Bible, right hand in the air. I feel like y'all on a game show.
Right.
Ready to buzz in? No, I'm just joking. I, James Ely,
I, James Ely,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Deputy Bailiff
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Deputy Bailiff
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
learning and experience.
learning and experience.
And this I say,
And this I say,
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer to God.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mary Barnwell. How are you? You're fine. I gotta find a treat for you. She's been hanging out with us so much, I'm about to stop paying you.
Oh, Mary.
Who do you have online with you?
I have my brother Wesley
Hi,
and my
Wesley.
best friend Jasmine.
Hi,
I'm sure
Jasmine.
about anybody else, I can't see.
Hi, I can't figure out how to turn on my video, but I'm watching.
Okay, all right, that's okay. So you have
Hey,
your Bible.
Mary.
Okay,
Hey Wesley,
and then you have your,
this is my son's Nana, but she's like my mother and she's right there.
all right, Ms. Meyer. How are you?
Everybody gonna help them?
All right, so everybody, we talked about Mary. I brought her in as my compliance officer, and we've had a little shift and reshift of the housing court specialist department. We are still working through the housing court specialists, with them being mediators, with them being more active as community control officers, more so community control officers and probation officers at the end of the day, with the training. And then we're even gonna do a little bit more, bringing on more mediators from the mediation department. But that being said, when we lost our chief due to some unforeseen circumstances, I was really looking, who can I either move from that department up into that position, to do I go and bring somebody in from the outside? So, you know, it was a really thoughtful thing, and I'm always looking who possess the leadership skills that I'm looking for. And it's who has really good lines of communication, not just to talk about case, but who's taking initiative. And one person that I saw that stepped up and was always coming back to see me, I didn't have to send for her, I didn't have to ask her to come back and talk to me and tell me what's going on, was Mary. Mary was stepping in saying, hey, this is how I'm helping the two new hires, this is what I'm doing, this is what I think should be done. But, you know, I don't want to overstep. So I'm having this conversation, to me going back and forth with other people in the departments. And at that point, I'm talking to my court administrator, Coleman, and a decision was made to put her in that role on a trial basis. She's got to be the only person that said, this is my 30-day goal for the department, this is my 60-day goal. That is leadership at its finest. When they lay out a goal, now I have to tell you, that is what leadership looks like, and that's what she did. So at that point, you know, after 30 days, we decided to put her in that position permanently. She possessed the qualities, and you know, we're starting to see a turnaround as we bring on new housing court specialists for that area. So we welcome her in this position. We see good things. She's opened up communication with building and housing and public health. As the mayor transitions his new team, it's really about keeping those lines of communication opening and developing, nurturing new relationships. Everybody's new. So everybody's trying to fill this out as this pandemic rages on. That being said, Mary, you ready to take your oath? All right. Jeremiah, you ready to help Mom? You gonna help me hold the Bible? Okay, so put your hand up. There you go. Hold it just like that. There you go. Look at you. All right. Yeah, okay, we're gonna slide this way just a little bit so the camera can pick everybody up. It's not gonna really see Jeremiah, but that's okay. All right. I, Mary Barnwell,
I'm Mary Barnwell,
do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
Step back to this. Come on to camera. That I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Chief Housing Court Specialist
and faithfully discharge the duties of Chief Housing Court Specialist
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
learning and experience.
learning and experience.
And this I say,
And this I say,
as I should answer unto God.
as I shall answer.
Welcome aboard.
Woo! Go Mary!
Congratulations, Mary. We love you.
Love you too.
Let's see if we can get it. Oh, no, you hit the whole sheet. How about that?
And look at that.
Thank you. That's your only one. Jeremiah, can I see this one? Okay, I'm gonna give you this one. There you go. Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me tell you. All right. Mr. Barnes, Burns, I'm sorry. Daniel Burns. You bring anybody? I'm at your sheet.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Is your wife on? Oh, does she have a baby?
She does.
Okay. It's a story behind this. How are you, Mrs. Burns?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. So when I say it's a story behind this, we had interviewed for our staff attorneys, and I gotta say, we were not impressed with the people we were interviewing. So we had something set up, if I'm not mistaken, for Attorney Burns, and he canceled. And rarely do I reach back out to somebody who cancels on us on the day of the interview. I think it was, he had a medical, what was the reason?
We were inducing.
But it wasn't told, but it was something like, I think the cancellation was a medical or something, he had to go to the hospital or something. He didn't go into full details, and I'm like, well, did he ask to reschedule? And Myra was like, no. And I was like, okay. So this is our selection to choose from, and they were like, yeah, they were going back and forth with these candidates, and I'm like, I was not happy. Was you here at this time when we were going through this? And so, you know, they were trying to pick from, if you've ever had to pick from a crop of, it's not a cream of the crop. It was probably the grass. And I said, so this is what I'm gonna do. I think I had Samantha maybe, or maybe Miata was still here. Reach back out and just see if, you know, Daniel wanted to come in and just kind of, it was like we were treading on, right, because I just had some rules and I'm about consistency. So I think he came back in. He said, yeah, I'd like to interview. I think you might have asked permission from your wife. Thank you, Tiffany, for giving him permission.
Yeah.
But she literally gave birth that morning. He literally ran in after cutting the umbilical cord for the interview. And when I say he did an awesome job for the interview, he really impressed us all that we was just like, he's our best candidate. He was the cream of the crop. And this is another person that this position was ideal for him. You know, we have our researchers and our writers, and then we have our litigator. I am a litigator. He is a writer. He is a researcher. Does not want to be up here doing voir dire. He does not want to be up here trying cases. He'd rather be writing out memos, briefs, and things like that, or doing a little bit of mediation and pretrials of cases. He's ideal for this position. And so we hope with him and Olivia, they match good, because when we say, and I'm about pay equity, I think our staff attorneys should be treated like ideal staff attorneys for judges, and we have an awesome team of magistrates at 7. Yeah. And the volume is high here, so you know, we thank him for you know, Tiffany for allowing us to borrow her husband that morning, because I was impressed just because he was not sleep deprived and he answered everything on time.
I was a little sleep deprived.
You couldn't tell. You could not tell. He did a really good job. He was laid back, he was relaxed. So we welcome you aboard, and you know, I've been seeing good were come across. Good memos and briefs come across that I signed off on, was impressed with that case we were supposed to talk about, but it was good enough, so. That being said, you ready to take the oath? All right.
I guess in theory, we should still talk about
We will. All right. Are we on camera?
it.
Here we go. I, Daniel Burns,
I, Daniel Burns,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of staff attorney
and will faithfully discharge the duties of staff attorney
to the best of my
to
ability,
the best of my ability,
learning and experience.
learning and experience.
And this I say,
In this I say,
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer unto God.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I was saying especially for this occasion. Well, it's for me to sign my swimming documents. Cause I didn't have it, so. It's for everybody else. All right, so let's take a quick look at this document. Thank you. This is your- Last mine. Cheryl. Welcome aboard. I keep some hold the body for this one. So a bit about Cheryl. We went to law school together. Oh, you are there. We went to law school together. I think we give you. 2000. Oh, so you came out a year behind me. Oh, 2 years behind. I didn't know you was younger. Actually, thought she came out a year before me. She's been 2 years behind me. So Cheryl, I think you actually worked here 3 years.
Yes, about 3 years.
Okay.
Yes.
As well.
Till judicial clerk and then staff attorney.
All right. I did not know that. I knew she worked here, but I didn't know what capacity. So she came to interview. She came to interview the first time for the part-time position magistrate. And I unfortunately did not make that interview. That was during that really, really bad blizzard. I want to say 2021.
Yes.
And I don't know if y'all remember, I think Deputy Bailey Rodriguez at some point had to come get me because I was stuck in my driveway where the snow was peeled. And I couldn't even get a professional plow to come get me out, but that night, I think it was 6 of us, my friends and family members that had to physically, because of how my driveway is, shovel out of the driveway, if you remember 2021. So I missed that initial interview, and then we ended up having some candidates that interviewed that actually got to sit in, and we ended up going with someone else. But then the second time it came around, we got some interviews in, and we really did not have, again, cream of the crop. And I gotta tell you, Myra fought really hard for Cheryl. And then listen, a lot of people know Cheryl in a professional capacity that talk highly of her, still talk highly of her, and she has her own practice in domestic relations and children and family services, kind of custody and things like that. I knew her more on a quasi personal base. And, sometimes because of that, I'm a transparent person. We had a discussion in the interview about, some things while in law school. She was very transparent and we had that discussion. And from there, I think she has met every expectation coming in as a magistrate. It's always a pleasure to welcome a woman and then a woman of color in a role, because it is only 2% of women of color that is attorneys, but it's even lower for a woman of color that wears a robe, whether it's a magistrate or a judge. So it's always a pleasure to welcome her aboard. And she's been doing a phenomenal job. So now that she gets to wear a robe as a magistrate, we welcome her to the club. It's an elite club, magistrate period. But their rules are just as strict as one as a judge. So we welcome you aboard and we're ready to administer the oath. All right. Left hand, raise the right hand. And are you okay with the words of the oath? Okay. I, Cheryl Wiltshire.
I, Cheryl Wiltshire,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of magistrate
and will faithfully discharge the duties of magistrate
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and learning experience.
and learning experience.
And learning experience. And this I shall say,
And this I shall say,
as I shall answer unto God.
and as I shall answer under God.
Okay, let's do that again. Okay. And this I shall, wait a minute, and this I say,
And this I say,
as I shall answer unto God.
as I shall answer under God.
Unto God.
Unto God.
There you go.
Got it. My aunt Elaine and Uncle Ricky, they in Barbados, they are at the top of the street. Philip White. And a friend of mine.
Philip White, hi Philip, yes, I know him.
And a friend of mine, Tim, who probably wants to remain.
That's okay, it's early. Hi, good morning, everybody. Okay, so what we do next is we will robe her with her magistrate robe. So we'll ask the chief to assist with that.
It's gonna take a minute.
Some people that do it, I'm not gonna say. There you go. All right.
Congratulations, Cheryl.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we are.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We actually have one more. All right, let's see. Wait, we usually get a big one. Thank you. All right. We do have one more. It's right here. There you go. There you go. Oh, this lovely lady.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, you do? All right.
She just felt bad for me that.
Aw. Do you have anybody on screen? Oh, that's okay. Right here. You have any problem? So, Rob, how long you been with the housing board? 26, you gotta be one of the issues. Did you get recorded?
No.
Okay, just Bianca the whole time? Wow, so Rock has been here for 26 years, almost 20, so when's your 26th anniversary? Okay, we gotta have a party here. 26 years, he might be does he beat anybody? He probably beats everybody here. The longest serving housing. That's not speaking. But Brock has recently been promoted to field supervisor. So you remember we were saying we had 2 supervisors. I specifically just wanted a field supervisor. So this position is very important. As we try to tighten that role. It's important because anything can happen in the field, and we needed someone that was gonna be solid so that the deputy bailiffs that are out in the field, whether they're serving subpoenas, whether they're leading the evictions, whether they're serving a house, an eviction on a person that may not be mentally stable, whether they encounter a dangerous encounter, whether they are searching a building, we needed someone solid. 26 years of experience, you can't get any better than that. They're leading their team in the field. They have to have good communication with the chief and the deputy chief. I have to kind of pull the deputy chief off the field. Chief Russell, who's also really loves being out in the field. I'm like, you're the leader of the pack now, so you can't be out in the field as much as you love to. Got to kind of turn the reins over to our new field supervisor, which is now field supervisor Wade. And so he had to feel confident in who that would be. What the chief and the deputy chief did was they wanted to open it up and make it fair to anybody who felt they could do that position. So they didn't want to just pick, and I didn't want to supersede them and handpick myself. So they opened it up to their team. They allowed them to do an application, I guess, write a sample and tell why they wanted to get this role, why they think they deserve to be in this position of a field supervisor. And I guess Brock Wade, and I stood back. Remember, I said I don't micromanage. I let the chiefs do what they need to do. And between the chief and the deputy chief, and I believe the court administrator took part in that, were you? Yeah. And the yada, okay, and the HR. I let them choose. And so they submitted and I just okayed it. So that being said, welcome aboard to our new field supervisor, deputy bailiff, Brock Wade. That hand, right hand up. All right. We're gonna step this way for anybody that's my camera. Come over a little bit more. All right. Ready for family feud? I, Brock Wade.
I, Brock Wade.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
And the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
And will faithfully discharge the duties of deputy bailiff, field supervisor.
And will faithfully discharge the duties of deputy bailiff, field supervisor.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
Learning and experience.
Learning and experience.
And this I say.
This I say.
As I shall answer unto God.
As I shall answer unto God.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our swearing-in ceremony. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, family members for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you, staff that is at your desk or holding down your stations for tuning in. That concludes the ceremony. We're just gonna